Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Coaching for Coaches. I hope you are well. If you're watching live, let me know in the chat. Give me a yo. If you're watching on the replay, put hashtag replay. Let me know that you are here. Today, I want to talk to you about success versus happiness and why I think both are incredibly different. If you were with me March 12th, 2020, you'd have been at the Holiday Inn in Bloomsbury in London. And if you'd have been there, you'd have found that that evening was the last day that we were able to run seminars in hotels around the country. The lockdown happened, hotels closed, and that was the primary source of our family's income gone. Over the past 18 months, we've turned that around. Over the past 18 months, our revenue has gone over $250,000. And what I've got to tell you about this particular episode and why it's so important is that it's actually brought on over the past 2 years some of the lowest periods of my life. And at this precise moment of doing this video, I'm currently going through therapy. Some old emotional patterns from the past have come up, and it's taught me a really valuable lesson that success and happiness are two very, very different things. And I actually believe that I knew that. I believed that I'd had some success before the pandemic. I believed I knew the difference between success and happiness. And it wasn't until I achieved a level of success that I'd never experienced before and automatically assumed that all my life problems would be fixed and there would never be a problem, and I literally would be kissing the rainbow, as the advert suggests. But instead, I felt empty. Sati and I, our marriage was not like falling apart, but it wasn't great. My relationship with Sage was good, but my level of presence was not brilliant. Business was doing well. Every other area was suffering. And there's some really key kind of lessons that I've learned that over the past few months, when I reflect on, as I feel now, like I'm starting to get back to a level of happiness that I can say is more like the me that I want to be. I can say that there's some really, really key things that I've learned are really, really powerful things that if you're at a point in your life right now where you're pursuing growing a business, trying to build your coaching, it's really important that you are also working on cultivating happiness as well as a separate endeavor, because they are really two separate things. So what I want to do with you in this video is kind of share with you on reflection over the past few months, as I've seen myself go from success to now really feeling balanced and happy again. I want to share with you three things that have been really, really pivotal for me. The first one is state. You may have heard me talk about state before. Tony Robbins is where I originally heard about state, but isn't it true that sometimes we can intellectually know something, but we're not living it? One of the things that I was not doing when I was growing the coaching business was managing my state away from my events. So I was showing up to events, putting myself in a great state for events, but I wasn't doing the same in my personal life. I wasn't putting myself in a great state for Sati. I wasn't putting myself in a great state for anyone else around me. I was only doing it for business. And it was incongruent. It was inauthentic. It was fake. It was like I was putting on a persona. It was painful. It's like performing on stage, being a joke and then being happy off stage. Robin Williams, who we all know, one of the funniest men in the world, like committed suicide, took his life. Why did he do that? Because he made everybody else happy but himself. One of the biggest things that I was doing was making everybody else happy, but in my business, but myself. And so the number one change that I made was I said, I'm going to really recommit to working on my state away from business. So that means things like physiology. I dialed up my exercise. I increased my sleep. I started working on started doing incantations, like positive belief-based statements. I turned off social media. I deleted all my social media off my phone. I deleted email off my phone, and I just went dark for a while, but in a really good way. Spent more time in nature, watched more funny stuff, exercising more often, bought a spin bike, and really started to work on my physical and emotional well-being. So the first thing that is really, really crucial to not just being successful, but also making sure that you feel happy as you do it, for me, is your state. Second thing for me is sounding boards. I always say every coach needs a coach. I have a coach. I am in a mastermind group. I've got several mentors. But one of the things that I've added in this particular period over this last few months is a therapist, a talk therapist. And that's been really powerful to allow me to talk out any unprocessed, any unresolved emotions from childhood, adolescence, teenage years that maybe have been dormant inside of me. Really, really powerful process having sounding boards, having people outside of you that you can speak to, that you can articulate how you're feeling, and they just hold the space, reserve judgment, and are just there for you. And then the last thing for me, this has been super powerful, is silence. A few months ago, I went on a silent meditation retreat, and I'd always been a dabbler of meditation, but never an avid meditator. And it wasn't until I went on this, and Sati's been on it as well, wasn't until I went on this day-long silent meditation retreat that I was able to really see that, frankly, I was uncomfortable with silence because I didn't like my thoughts. I didn't like the things that I would think about when I was silent. And through working on my state, through having a sounding board and articulating out how I was really feeling, I've really become more comfortable with silence. Silence, having time to think, walking in nature, meditation, really powerful ways of reducing the cortisol in the body, reducing the anxiety in the body, and really creating calm and peace within you. There's one thing I know: to build a business, to be, quote, successful, requires a level of stillness, requires a state within you that can hold the space for somebody else, right? That's why I say every coach needs a coach. And in my case, every coach sometimes needs a therapist as well. So 3 really key things I want to kind of stress to you, that as you embark on building a coaching business, growing yourself, building your future as a coach, I believe it's really important that you work on these 3 things. Number 1, that you work on your state. Emotion is created by motion. Great saying from Tony Robbins. Number 2, that you have sounding boards, people that you can talk to. It's important for your mental health and well-being, let alone the growth of your business. And then number 3, silence, that you're willing to sit and be quiet and allow yourself to just observe your thoughts and detach from them through things such as breath work, walking in nature, and meditation. Shorter episode tonight, but I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, let me know your biggest insight or takeaway in the chat box below, and I will see you